Hello everybody, Brian York. We're going to show you today how to do the right hand handlebar. We're going to show you how to put the throttle together and put the cable in it and the throttle hinge and the tubing and all that stuff. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to get all this stuff prepped. Now the throttle tube itself, I don't buy new ones. A lot of times I reuse the old ones. Now, if this piece right here is bent in any way at all, I do not use them, I throw them away. But if it's in good shape and there's no dents or dings in it, then I go ahead and sandblast these and I wet blast them. And then I go through and repurpose these if they're in good condition. So this is a reconditioned one. I went ahead and sandblasted it, wet blasted it. We're gonna use that. I take the old, the rings for the end of it, I take those and have them blasted and I re-zinc plate these. And then what I do usually do is get the new throttle hinge and then the slide. I get those new and then a new screw. Get them from Honda. So, and then we've also got a, sometimes I use the original horns if I can save them. This is an aftermarket. So we're gonna need all that today to do this, and then a new grip. One of the ones that's really flexible. There's a left hand grip and a right hand grip. You make sure you get the right hand grip, because if you order the left hand grip, you get a left hand grip, it's not going to fit on there. See how flexible it is? The other one won't be like that. Okay, so we're going to start off. I went ahead and I put the brake lever on. There's a pivot bolt that goes through that and then a nut that goes on the back side. You want to put that on and then tighten it all up. And make sure it's free whenever you tighten it up. It's got to have a little bit of play, but not a lot. Okay, so then I went ahead and took my green wire, which you see from the other video on the left-hand handlebar. I show you how to feed this wire in and then take this here and pick it out. But you want to go through the top of this, shove your wire down and get it into here. Okay, basically what that is just some of this cheap floral wire. You can get it at Walmart or anywhere. It's just cheap wire. Okay, so now what we're going to do first is take the cable. This is the end. It does not have no thread on it. And the end of it it's just a straight little bob on it. See, the other end has got a round tip on it, and then this is threaded. You want to get the non-threaded side, hook it up to this floral wire here, and then just go around it like this and tighten it up. Basically what it's going to do is it's going to help fish that wire through these holes here, basically. Okay, so we're going to do this, and then but you want to do it on the top part where the handlebar goes, and then slide it down to the bottom. So see, here we go like this. We're going to do it this way. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this in here. Let me get this camera down so you can see it a little bit better. That way you're not trying to... Okay. So this is how it's going to go down right here. We're going to take this, and we're just going to take this, and this green floor wire is just a chase is all it is. So we'll take this and chase it down through this handlebar like this, and then it's going to come out this. You feed it one way with the other and one way with the green wire until you get it to where you get the cable out the other end of it, see? And there it is. Okay, we're just going to keep pushing this in here until we get it all the way through the other. Be careful on the end down there, because it will skin the actual cable. Just keep it away from the edge of it. Okay, so that's done. So now I want to take this cable and just kind of shove it into that hole for now, and I'll just tell you why. Okay, just do it like that. Don't pull it all the way through. Just leave it down in this hole right here like that. Okay, so now we're going to slide this piece on. Get it back as far as we can. Okay, and now we want to take this. Now the threads have to go this way. Okay, so we want the threads to go in So let's go ahead and dig our cable back out of here. I'm gonna pull it on down a little ways too. It's kind of hard, but keep this piece on here. I'll get this cable back out through here. Okay, so now what we want to do is thread this piece. Like I said, the threads goes on here like this, and it goes on here, and then you'll thread it onto this cable. What that does is that holds your cable in place after you get this whole assembly on here. Okay, so now we got this nice and tight. Now what we want to do is take the top of it, take a pair of pliers, and you want to take this and push it together. That locks it in place. See how I got that? It's pushed into place now. Now what we're going to do is pull this cable out so you got something to work with. And we're going to slide this down here like this. Okay? We want to get this to slide down. And you want it to go down into this hole, which is kind of hard to do. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I think I got this backwards. Oh, boy. I haven't done this for a while, so. Okay, so now what we can do here is take this back off here. Get a screwdriver and pry it back open. I forgot that piece has got to go in. After you've done this a million times, you'll remember it, but if you don't do it every day, you forget. We'll take this and we got to pry this back open here. Not a big deal. We've done it a million times. Okay, so let's take that back off. Take this back off. And then slide this piece back on here like I had it. These cables are hard to work. I don't know why Honda designed this like this, but anyways, thread this back on here. Push this down flat like that, and then slide this piece. It's got to go down into that. Now see how it's down into that hole? Now it's nice and flat. Now make sure that's down in that hole and it's nice and flat. And then this piece has got to go on here like this behind it. Okay? So now we've got everything's ready to go here. Now this piece here, this goes down into this slide right here like this. That's going to go sliding back and forth like this. Okay? So basically, once this gets put in there, it'll slide your slide back and forth. And I got my cable a little kinked here. You might want to make sure this is straight, your cable, so that when it goes back in there, it slides freely. If it doesn't, it won't slide correctly. And then you'll have a major problem. For some reason this is not sliding out correctly, but you want your cable to go all the way in. I don't know what's going on, but it's not sliding correctly. Sometimes you have problems with these slides on these handlebars, and this one here seems to be having a problem here. So we're gonna have to straighten that out. I don't know why it doesn't slide, but it doesn't. I think this piece here looks like it's a little bit bent, so we're going to bend it in a little bit. most of the time I never have problems with these. Sometimes you get these handlebars and they're not manufactured really great, and they get to where they don't want to. But you want to make sure this piece here slides properly. For some reason, it's still not sliding. We'll bend this piece in just a hair. So, it looks like we have a problem with this handlebar. So what I'm going to have to do is take this and I have to grind on the handlebars a little bit and get everything to where it'll work. For some reason, don't know why, the slot on the handlebar is not even. So probably gonna have to take a file and file right here. Oh, I can see there's like a burr inside the handlebar there. So I'm gonna give me a file here and see if I can file this down a little bit. One thing about these handlebars, if they're not factory handlebars, a lot of times they get burrs on the inside. Probably a good idea to go through and knock these burrs out to begin with. For some reason, this is probably the first one I've ever had do this, but there's an actual burr inside there. This piece, see how it slides down in there now like it's supposed to? That's the way it's supposed to be. Okay. So now, and it slides freely now, so I wonder what the problem was. But we'll go ahead and put this back in there now. And, oh yeah, it slides great now. Slides all the way forward like it's supposed to, and all the way back. That's the way it's supposed to. It's supposed to slide all the way up to the end of this round piece here. If it doesn't, then you need to take the file and file it. Okay, anyway, we'll take this back out of here. Put this piece here on like this. So now that's done. I'll slide this on. Now if you look on the back side, there's a hole here on the handlebar. This hole here is going to have to be lined up with that to put your screw in to be able to line everything up. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to put some grease in this tube here, and then we want to put a little bit on the top of this piece right here. The reason for that, we've got to lube it up so it'll turn really nice and easy. But you want to be careful not to get too much grease on the grip or anything else. Because if you get it on the outside of the tube, then when you go to put your rubber on, it's going to slide around, and then it's not going to be, there's a channel on the inside of that. You'll stick your finger down there and put grease on that channel. The reason why is because that's where that other piece of aluminum rides on. And you want to make sure you get that all lubed up really good on the inside. It's going to make it so much easier. And these bikes, I don't know if you know, they don't return properly. They never did. A lot of people says, why don't it return properly? I paid this much money for this bike. It don't return. Well, they weren't made that way. When these bikes were made, they were made on the cheap. they weren't really made to withstand a long time, but they did. So, okay, so anyway, we've got this piece on here. We're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of lube on it too, just in the track right here. Yeah, that's about the only place you really need to put it. That's where all your slide is. Okay, so now, let me get a rag here and clean this off. But keep your hands clean, because if you don't, you get on everything else, like I said, your grips will stay loose and everything. It'll be a horrible mess. Okay, so what we're gonna do is go ahead and we'll take this, put this on here. Not really any easy way I've found to get it started. Sometimes you gotta work it back and forth to where you get it in that channel. You'll know because when you start turning this, it'll actually start turning the cable, and you'll know that you got it correctly. Okay, so I think I've got it in place now. Okay, yeah, it's in place. Okay, so now we're gonna take the screw, we'll flip this over, because it's a lot easier to do like this than it is to try to do it the other way. So I had my screw hole in place a while ago and I moved it. My fault. So now I gotta try to get that thing moved around. Kind of a pain. Hard to get a hold of. I'll take this, turn this piece with a plier. Now I can adjust it however I want to. But the hole is supposed to go down on the bottom side. I've got it up here on the top. This is just a sleeve, it doesn't matter. Okay, so now I've got my hole. There, my hole is matched up. Okay. And hopefully it's matched up with the piece that's inside of it. Okay. These are kind of a pain. You can take a small screwdriver and kind of get the hole lined up with the piece inside, and then you can kind of work it that way. Okay, so I've got the screw in, got everything matched up now. Beginning to wonder there for a second. Kind of crazy trying to get this thing lined up. If you're not careful though, if you get your hole in a bind and then you don't get the screw in there correctly, then it's in a bind and then it don't work properly. You want to make sure when you put that in there, you get your screw lined up really well. If you don't, and your screw's not going to go all the way in, and then you're going to have problems. Okay, so now my screw is inside this. Okay, now if you look at the end of the cable, how it's moving, and it's moving freely. Still got, just looks like I may have to take it back apart, do some filing. It's working pretty good, but it's still not as free as I like. A lot of times you can go in and kind of file that stuff around and work on it a little bit, and it'll make it a lot better. It's not working exactly the way I like it to. It's close, but you don't want to put any grease here, because that's going to get inside your grip and it's going to make your grip loose. Usually when I get this all done, what I'll do is go ahead and spray some brake cleaner on the outside of it, and then clean it down and clean it really good before I put the grip on there. I'm not going to put the grip on there because I'm going to take this back apart. Now you've got another grommet that goes this hole right here, and you want to go ahead and put this on here like this, and then this is going to go down here on this just like you did the other ones. And you know, you take your soapy water in there and put that, get it loose, or water, just regular water, and then get it in there and then work your, but I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I'm going to take it back apart. I'm just showing you how to do this. Okay, and then you've got your horn button. Your horn button's gonna go into this hole right here, and there's another hole underneath this perch lever, like you did on the other side, and then you'll take the screw and put it in here, and then that'll tighten this down. But also, this is another thing that's tricky. You have to try, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take this and this cable here and put it in there together and pull them in. But the problem with that is when you do that, it's kind of a pain in the butt to try to do that. It's a pain in the butt either way. But I fish this green wire back in there and then pull this in separate. That's what I do. But you can do it either way. But this, you go through the horn button this way and then shove your green wire in. And it'll go through there pretty easy. Once you get it in, you can get it right in there. And that little wire will go right beside that cable. It goes right in there. It takes a few minutes fishing. It is a real pain in the butt. But this rubber grommet goes around this little gray wire and this cable right here. So once you get that done, then that'll go in there. And like I said, this one goes, you got a hole underneath here with a perch to put your screw in to tighten this down. And then you're pretty well done. And it'll be ready to mount on the bike. But like I said, I'm not gonna go ahead and finish putting this together because I've still got a little bit of work, it looks like, to do here to make this, you know, a lot nicer. For some reason, this handlebar is just not really refined really well. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more work to it. So anyway, I want to thank y'all for watching. And like I said, you know, here's the finished product pretty much. It's getting better. I think it just needs a little bit of lubrication. But I'm gonna take it apart, do some more work on it. Like I said, put your grommet in there, get your cable in here, and get your horn switch on there, and this thing's ready to mount. Thank you all for tuning in, and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you all very much, and I will see you all later. Have a good evening.